Hello, all. So here's another exercise for us to practice with. So in order to achieve this particular drawing, you'll be needing to know the following tools. You'll be needing to know how to draw, how to use your construction line, circle, copy, fillet. Then you need to know how to draw circle, how to use lines, how to use trim, then layers, dimension. Then lastly, we're going to be doing gradient. So this is a simple drawing, it's a simple exercise. We are going to be learning some basis of application on how to use these tools. So let's get started with this drawing. So here I have opened a plain AutoCAD drawing sheet. Okay, so the first thing you do on this drawing sheet is to do your unit setting. So UN for units, UN on the command line for units, then change from inches to millimeter. Okay, so the drawing is in millimeter. So now we have done our settings to millimeter also. So the next I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be drawing the center line using construction line. So center line, you can see center line. So I'm going to be taking this middle one here as my main center line. So I'm going to be starting with this one first. So center line, center line. So now let me go to AutoCAD. So for the center line, I'll be using construction line to get that done. Construction line, vertical, construction line again, horizontal. So those are my two construction lines. So the next is now from this center line vertically to the next one is 32.5. So to the right, 32.5, to the left, 32.5. So when you multiply 32.5 times 2, then here you're going to have 65. So it means that I'm going to be using offsets to the right, 32.5, to the left, 32.5. So let me do that in my drawing. So offset distance 32.5, enter. Select object to the right, 32.5, to the left, 32.5. Now you can see that the lines are very far apart. It appears far apart. So now I'm going to be adjusting my zoom to make it more visible. So I've zoomed to adjust the visibility of the lines. All right. So the next thing I'm going to be doing right now is I'm going to be using offsets for the horizontal. So now from this horizontal line, I'm going to offset 65 upwards. So offset distance of 65, enter, select line, then upwards, I've been able to use offsets. Okay, so now I've escaped and I've adjusted my zoom to make it visible. So now these are the center lines. So the center lines, as I said, it acts as the structure of the drawing. It acts as a structure. So it's always good you start your drawing using the center lines. So now easily I can now approach the drawing. So now the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw the circle of radius 10. So 3 copies of it. Okay. All right. So circle from this, my right. Yes. Radius 10. Okay. I can make copies. My object snap is on, so make copies of the drawing. Okay. Then now there's another circle of radius 15 that has been modified. Radius 15, 3 copies of that too. So another circle of radius 15, radius 15. So I'm going to make copies of that too. Okay. All right. Good. All right. So now next, I can see that there is an arc connecting these three set of circles. There's an arc. So instead of using an arc, easily I can use fillets. So fillet of radius 30. So I'll go to fillet. Fillet is under modifying tools. Fillet radius 30. So okay, select. Okay, fillet again. This time I'll hit multiple so that I can apply it more than once. Okay. All right. So now with my fillets, I'm able to connect the three circles easily using fillets. So this is more convenient than using an arc. So now the next thing I'm going to do is there's actually a bigger circle that has been modified also, 3 of radius 20. So I need a bigger circle at this point, bigger circle of radius 20. So circle radius 20. Okay, make copies of it. Okay, now drop. Okay, escape. All right. At this point, what I would like to do is I would like to make trim off some unnecessary lines. Now you can see here there are no lines around this corner, so I'm going to trim off those unnecessary lines I have at my end. So I'm going to make use of trim. Hit enter, then I'll trim off unnecessary lines. So these lines, trim them off, trim off. So trim off these lines. Okay, at this point, trim this off. All right, trim this off too. Okay, then I need to trim this off too. Okay, so that I don't get confused with. Okay, do I need to make more trims? Okay, all right. So before I make more trims at this point, then I need to connect these two objects. I need to connect them with a line. So I'm going to use line. Then I'll go to my drawing aid and make sure that I have intersection and make sure I have nearest and tangents to be activated. Nearest and tangents. Okay, so now lines. So it's easy for me to connect this. It's easy for me to connect that. Then for this, I'm going to connect this line. Then to the point of tangency, line again, nearest here, now to the point of tangency. Okay, so now that I'm able to connect, then I can use trim again to take away unnecessary part of the object. Okay. All right, so by doing this, I'm able to achieve this drawing. So I'm able to achieve this drawing. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut off unnecessary part of the center lines. So the center line is shorter. So I'll use rectangle to cut off unnecessary part of this center line. So I'll use a rectangle to create an intersection with the center lines. So then trim. So usually I'm able to take this place off. Then I remove the rectangle that I've used to create the intersection. So now here you can see, uh, okay, maybe I want to create some intersection at this point too. I might want to create some intersection at this point too. So let me use line this time to create intersection of the center line at this point. All right, then trim. Okay, I think I'm good with this. Let me reduce the length of this. Okay, all right then. Then I also need to reduce the length of this too. Reduce the length of this. All right, then I won't forget to remove the lines I used to create the intersections. All right, so with what I have here now, I'm done with the drawing. I'm done with the drawing, but not totally finished. So there are some editing I need to do. So the center lines, I need to make it broken lines. I need to make the center lines broken lines. So to do that, I'll go to layers. I'm going to create two layers, rename them, let me call this tick, then line width 0.3, then the other one rename, I'll call it center line. So line type, under line type, load. So I'll pick center lines option. Okay, choose center line. Then I'll change the color for the center line, make it red. So it's very visible and I can close. Now I'm going to apply the center line. So to apply the center line, I'll select everything. I'll give it the tick property. So the thickness, escape. The tick is not showing now, so I'll make it visible by turning on show or hide line width. Then I'll pick the center lines. Center lines, escape. So now you can see that the center lines are on red. The center lines are on red. Now the broken lines are not showing on the center line. So I want to make it to be visible. So I'm going to select just one copy of the center line, right click, properties. I'll change the line type scale to 10, or you can use more than 10 or less than 10, depending on what you want. Okay, now it's visible. Now to apply this property to other center lines, I'll use match property, MA for match property. Select source. Okay. All right, escape. So now my center lines are visible. My center lines are visible. So, okay, next step for me now is to apply dimension to my drawing. So to apply dimension, I go to my dimension style, dimension setting, dimension style, create new. Let me call it new dimension, new dim, continue. So, symbol and arrow, make the arrow size to be 3, text, text height to be 4, then text alignment to be aligned, primary units. So these are just the main setting I need for now. I need on this drawing. So I've been able to do the main setting, set current, close. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to apply dimension. So dimension from here. Now when you're applying dimension, make sure that your object snap is on while applying dimension. Okay, 65. Dimension again from here to here. Make sure that your object snap is on while you're applying dimension. Okay, okay, all right. Now, radius 30, radius 10. So now here for the radius, radius 30, radius 30, radius 10. Okay, the 10 is for the inner one, radius 10. So now I can edit this particular radius to have 3 times. So I will double click and edit the text. So 3 times radius 10. So now to have 3 times radius 10, then radius 15 at this end. So radius 15. So I'm going to edit this to double click on the text to edit it. So 3 times radius 15 for that. So here, radius 20. So double click on it to edit it. 3 times radius 20. 3 times radius 20 for that. Okay, all right. So now here we have 332.5. Now you can see that this is to one decimal place, and the setting we did for this has whole number. So I'm going to create a different setting for this to accommodate one decimal place. So now new, let me call it dim 2, dimension 2, continue. Then okay, symbol and arrow 3, okay, text 4, then online. So primary units, I'll just make it one decimal place. So that is for dim 2. Now I'll select dim 2 and set it as current. Close. Now, okay. So now I can now pick my linear dimension, then select the two object I want to dimension linearly, then I can apply the dimension. Okay, so now here you can see that it's 32.5, one decimal place. So I had to create a different settings to accommodate this 32.5. So the next thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to be applying my gradients for the color. So I'll go to gradients on my drawing tool. Then I'm going to make my choice of color combination. Okay, make my choice of color combination. So let me use green and yellow. Okay, then how do I want the color to blend? Okay, so that's the next thing. How do I want the color to blend? So make my choice of how I want the color to blend. Then I can select the regions I want to color. Okay, all right. Let me make it separately. Gradient again. Okay. Gradient again. Okay. Then for the outer gradients, so I want to make a different color combination. Then select. Okay. Yes, so now I'm able to apply my gradients to the drawing. I'm able to apply my gradient to the drawing. Now to make the lines to be more visible. So I'm going to select the gradients. I will select the gradients, then right click, draw, send to the back. Draw order, send to the back. I'm going to do the same thing for the gradient here too. Right click, draw order, send to the back. Okay, so here I have the finished drawing. So this drawing, a lot of tools have been used. So if you are not so familiar with how to use the tools, go and check my previous video on how to make use of these tools. So drawing this exercise will improve your skills on AutoCAD. So see you in the next exercise. Thank you.